have you any news of Joanne?
Well, I heard that her brother, you know, the one that's a barrister, had given up his position and bought a cherry orchard. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
That's absurd. He had such a great career. Why would he do such a thing? No! I've only met him a few times, but he just doesn't seem the type.
What else could it be? Besides, they can hide it so well.
His poor wife.
She's probably been helping him hide it all these years. It's called enabling.
You just never know, do you? If it can happen to Barry, it can happen to anyone.
If what could happen to Barry?
Your brother's early retirement, dear.
Oh, yes.
I was just telling Mary the good news.
So how are Barry's cherries?
Well, his wife says it's an absolute delight to see him so happy and content. It's the best thing he could have done. He's always loved the outdoors and nature. He never really liked working in law. He only did it to please father.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that he's doing so well. Do give him my best regards when you next see him.
Yes, do.
I will.
Good afternoon, ladies. What can I get you?
Oh, Blanche. I thought you were going to be hiring some more staff, so you wouldn't have to wait on tables anymore.
Oh, I don't mind it. This isn't really hard work, and I like to socialise with everyone in town. You know me.
Yes, you're quite the social butterfly, aren't you? I suppose that's looking on the bright side. We'll have the usual.
Tea and biscuits? Lovely.
Waiting on tables. Oh, she can't be doing very well financially, without her husband and all that.
Oh, she's the owner, and she's been managing the business very well on her own for years.
So where's Sarah? She's never late.
That is odd, isn't it?
Oh, haven't you heard? She won't be joining us this afternoon.
Is she all right?
She wouldn't say. Though I could tell she was very upset. Though she very clearly didn't want me to know what she was upset about.
Do you think it could be her knees again?
Oh, she probably overdid it moving into that new flat of hers. Strained something.
Yes, that sounds exactly like her.
It wasn't that kind of upset. If you ask me, I think there's trouble in paradise.
Not Jonathan.
Ah.
But they seem to be getting along splendidly.
Well, they are. The last I heard, they were seeing each other 2, sometimes 3 times a week.
Oh yes, a lot of dancing. It must be her knees.
It wasn't that kind of upset. I'm just telling you what I sensed. And how often am I wrong?
I never did understand how she managed to get him interested in her in the first place. I mean, of all the women in this town to choose.
Some people just lack couth, if you know what I mean.
It won't last. Oh, you mark my words. He'll tire of her soon enough and move on.
Joanne!
I have heard he's a bit of a player.
And Sarah is desperate enough to go after a man like that.
Jonathan is a perfect gentleman, and Sarah is, well, Jonathan is a perfect gentleman, and you know it.
Speak of the devil. Don't look round. He's coming over.
Good afternoon, ladies. And how are you all doing this fine day?
Jonathan, do sit down and join us.
Oh, I'd love to, but I can only stay a moment.
Are you going to meet Sarah?
No, actually. I'm surprised you haven't heard.
What is it?
Last week, Sarah and I had a falling out, I'm afraid.
Oh, how dreadful.
Dear.
What about, if you don't mind us asking?
It's really quite tragic, actually, and I must say I feel a bit ashamed of myself.
Oh, you can tell us, Jonathan. We're very discreet.
Well, I went over there one morning to find her in floods of tears, nearly inconsolable.
What happened?
She explained to me that her cat had died suddenly that morning.
Oh, no.
She absolutely adored that cat.
Spoiled it like it was a child.
Well, I made her some tea and started consoling her and wiping away this torrent of tears as she explained how he had died.
Oh dear, what had happened?
You remember how she used to keep her kitchen window open so that the cat could jump out through it into the garden whenever he wished? Well, she opened the window in her new flat and the cat immediately leapt through it.
And?
Well, the daft thing didn't know that the new flat was on the 12th floor. It fell to its death, screeching all the way. Unfortunately, the thought of it struck me as so humorous that well, I couldn't contain myself. I burst out laughing. I practically choked on my biscuit.
Oh, no.
To make a long story short, after 2 phone calls and a dozen roses, we were no longer seeing each other.
Oh, Jonathan, how are you feeling, dear?
I'm fine, actually.
Is there anything I can do? Anything at all?
Oh, well, thank you, I'm all right. And I must say that I was beginning to feel that the relationship was waning anyway.
I insist that you come to my place for a good home-cooked dinner to take your mind off it.
Mary, there hasn't been a good home-cooked meal at your house since I brought you dinner after your hysterectomy. What you need is a nice evening out. I shall take you out for dinner and to the theatre Friday night.
Oh, Joanne, you know you couldn't possibly afford that. Your fixed income would never allow it. What Jonathan needs is a really nice tea with me in my garden. The flowers are looking wonderful at the moment.
Yes, it is lovely. Dedicated to her late husband, you know. A veritable shrine to his memory. He planted those roses himself, didn't he?
That's very kind of you ladies, but I have plans for this weekend. In fact, I'm meeting someone here for a stroll and then something to eat.
You're seeing someone already?
Yes, I am. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm waiting for Blanche.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Blanche. You look splendid. Here.
Oh, thank you.
Well, it's been nice catching up with you ladies. Sorry to have burdened you with my woes. Shall we?
Blanche Warrington. Oh, I do like to socialise with everybody in town.
Oh, the poor man is so blinded by denial he can't see how foolishly he's behaving. Dating a waitress. The tramp.
Oh, I was referring to Blanche, not Jonathan. Biscuit.